The forecast is grim.
COVID-19 researchers are warning the next Omicron wave has arrived and could reach 25,000 cases a day, which would likely mean a return to the red traffic light setting.
New variants BA4 and BA5 are taking hold, and experts warn cases could soon be back up to where they were in April. And it gets worse. It's much easier to get reinfected. This week, the Ministry of Health revised its advice on retesting from 90 days since you caught COVID to 29. So if those who've had it in the last 29 days are safe, that means nearly 1.2 million of us are primed for reinfection. And each time you catch it, it's anybody's guess how sick you could get.
It's kind of like if you have COVID, you're in a lottery, and the lottery is for not winning something good, it's for winning something bad. So the more times you get COVID, the more chances you have of having some kind of serious outcome.
For now, experts are advising us to take it easy on the socialising and learn to love our masks again, if we don't want them to put on the red light.
Well, someone who's won that bad lottery and like the Powerball and the strike is Lloyd Burr from Today FM. Lloyd, you've had it blimmin' 3 times. What are you doing?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I've got to catch them all, right? Pokemon. Yeah, I mean, it does sound a lot. It does sound a lot, but remember, I got it in 2020, got it in 2021 and 2022. So it wasn't in the space of a real short time. It was every year. And when I do speak to people, especially here in New Zealand, because the COVID kind of didn't hit here until last year, they do get freaked out a little bit when I'm like, yeah, 3 times. But, yep, I've had it 3 times. I'm still alive and kicking, still healthy as.
Well, that's good to hear. OK, so talk us through it, because, yeah, you were based in the UK the first time you got it. And were you vaccinated? Like, did it hit you hard?
Well, no, that only just happened. It was the very beginning of 2020. This is when it kind of all kicked off. And that was the worst out of the 3 times, I reckon. It was because there was lots of unknown, and you were in bed and you were sweating, and then you were cold and you were sweating and your eyes were burning, and there was all this news going around, and I was meant to be reporting on it, and it was just kind of, it just kept going and on and on. It went on for about 2 weeks, so that was kind of the worst one. And then yeah, I wasn't vaccinated until about a year and a half later, so that came a bit later. So
when the second one hit you, you were like, no, this is fine.
Well, no, I was single vaxxed by the time the second, the Delta variant floored me. But I was only floored for about 5 days for that one. So yeah, out of the 3, the first one was the worst, the second one was the second worst, and the third one was a bit of a breeze.
The third one sounds quite interesting, actually, Lloyd. Where'd you pick that one up?
Yeah, the Glasgow variant. I mean, I had a bit of a whirlwind trip over to Glastonbury, the Glastonbury Festival, because I got tickets when I was over in the UK, but COVID meant it was delayed and delayed and delayed. So I picked it up when I was in Glastonbury. But lucky I was triple vaxxed and boosted, and I'd had it, and yeah, that was the easiest out of the lot. Probably the beers probably helped a little bit with that one too.
So Lloyd, you only get this thing when you go to England. You're now in New Zealand. Just don't go back to England. You're good as gold, aren't you? Do what you want.
Actually, I haven't thought about that, but you're right. It actually is. It's all the times I've had it in England. The first time, the second time, and the third time. So, yeah, maybe it is. England, I've always said it as a petri dish over there.
Finally, you admit I'm always right.
And, I mean, this is a serious topic for New Zealanders, right? People are getting really sick with this. Can I ask, has getting it 3 times changed your own approach, and how are you feeling about getting it potentially again? Yeah,
I mean, COVID is an unlucky dip, right? You never know what effect it's going to have on you. So I'm always cautious. I'm not going to be one of those people who says it's an absolute breeze and I've recovered from it. Because some people, they get it and they get really sick and they end up in hospital. Some people, they end up dying. So I'm never going to treat COVID lightly, and I don't think people should. But you just got to take it seriously. I just had lots of fluids. I have lots of Lemsip, lots of electrolyte boosters. And, yeah, lots of Panadol, Lemsip, and sort of help push it through. But, yeah, I'm just expecting to get this thing every single year. It's not going to go away. We've got it forever now, and we're going to have to live with it. But that doesn't mean it's any less dangerous.
Well, Lloyd Burr, thanks for sharing your story with us. No offence, but I don't think we're going to hang out anytime soon. Chat to you soon.
See you later. See ya.
Hey, kia ora, welcome along to the project, everyone. Look, Mark Richardson is here tonight. Yeah. It's such a funny time in New Zealand because we know the second wave is here, and yet is it my imagination or people wearing masks less and less often? Often I find now I'll go into a shop and I'll be wearing a mask and all the people working in the shop aren't. It's sort of like, are people bored of wearing masks? Are they feeling bulletproof? What's going on?
I think there's some genuine confusion. Like, I can't remember what the rules are, so... Yeah,
but if you're trying to avoid it,
I'll go in and I'll look around. Is this a mask place or not a mask place? And then I'll make my call. But I'll make my call because if people are wearing masks, I go, well, I don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. So it's a social thing rather than a health thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very much so.
Worth avoiding though, and it does sound like a mask. Of course, a mask helps. I've spoken to two people this week. One is a pharmacist who has gone through the whole pandemic working in the pharmacy and has not caught COVID because he wears a mask. And the other one's a funeral director who said he's directed 100 funerals masked up with an N95 each time and hasn't caught it yet. So it is possible to avoid, and it is worth avoiding.
Our hair and makeup artist has worked all the way through all the lockdowns, face to face with so many different people who have tested COVID positive, wearing a mask and hasn't got it once. So
you just got to know who you can have unprotected conversation with.
That's right. You've got to have safe conversation.